Okay, we only have one more question to cover off, so this is our further question unless anybody has anything else they want to pick up on after this. But the last question was, again, one for Nick. So I may have to consider redundancies in the near future, but one of my staff is pregnant. Does this affect the procedure I would have to follow? Would she be exempt from the process?
Okay, so I think some people do have an idea that if someone is pregnant, that they wouldn't be involved in any redundancy procedure, but it's not the case. A pregnant person can be made redundant as long as the reason for her selection for redundancy is not related to her pregnancy. So, and obviously in the background, as long as a full and fair process for redundancy is followed. But yeah, definitely there's no immunity for a pregnant person in a redundancy process, apart from if any part of how she is selected can be conceived to have discriminated against her pregnant state, then that could be seen as pregnancy and maternity discrimination. So, for example, things like how often somebody's been off ill. Now, you might expect a pregnant person to be off ill at the beginning of a pregnancy, for example, because of morning sickness or hyperemesis gravidarum or whatever. But if you try to factor that in as a criteria through which you were judging people and coming up with who would be made redundant, then she could challenge that, and she could say, the reason my score was so high on this point and the reason that made me the person who was selected was directly related to my pregnancy, and therefore let's go to tribunal. So make sure that if you are conducting a scoring exercise to try and decide who would need to be leaving the company, that none of it can be construed as relating to the pregnancy. Select actually have, I'll maybe put it in the chat, Select have a lot of great scoring matrices, examples available, and I'll see if I can put it in the chat here, and also a really great flowchart actually, which was designed by Ian's team, that is interactive. So as you're going through the process, you can click on different parts of it and it takes you to the letter that you need for that stage of the process. So if this is something that folk are having to think about, this might be an idea to familiarise yourself with that. But in a nutshell, pregnant person can be made redundant, but make sure it's not because she's pregnant.
Okay, thank you very much, Nick. Any questions for Nick regarding that? Okay, well, that was the last question that we had logged for this evening.